mentioned.
Okay, but I just remember these.
They're not going to tell you who their leaker is.
I remember these emails suddenly appeared, and it was just kind of like, where did they? How did they? I remember the first thought, like, did the SPLC like hack Google? I was like, no, that's ridiculous. No. And then it was like, oh, Richard is CC'd on these emails.
No.
So he sent them to this SPLC. Don't know why. Don't know what he got out of it. Who knows what his motivation was? His motivation was being a stupid person.
At the same
because
time,
actually,
Michael Hayden was there was some other thing that happened. Stryker found this out. I didn't see this, or he showed it to me, and that like something where like some leftists were going after Richard or something, and Hayden, Michael Edison Hayden, who used to work for the SPLC as like the editorial director of their website or something like that. He was like a top reporter for them. He jumped in and said, basically,
aren't they a nonprofit law firm? They're journalists now. Like, what is the SPLC?
Oh yeah.
What do they do? What are they classified as? I'm not sure.
That's already, I don't know. But anyway, Hayden worked for them as a journalist, and yes, he did investigative journalism for them. That was one of the things that they did.
Yes.
Whatever. He, but investigative journalism was like doxing white nationalists.
Right. He like crawl around.
That was all it was.
Crawl around and like coaches hedges and try to confirm that.
Yeah, right. Like bothering Coach. That was his investigative journalism. And me.
Yeah.
And Stryker. So Stryker found something like, it was like, basically, Hayden was like jumping in front of the of other leftists attacking Richard.
Okay.
Like Antifa people and stuff. And he told them like, shut up, you don't know what's going on right now. And it's like, why are you saying that publicly, you retard? So you've basically given the whole thing away. And so people express some incredulity. Now, I've said it before on this program, and I've said it a couple times on Twitter, but I guess for some people, like we never really focused on it, and it was sort of in passing, and we did it again, and then it's out in the video, and so some people are like, wait, what? I got like 3 replies like that. So I want to make clear what happened. So first of all, during the Charlottesville lawsuit in 2017 and 2018, I was released in 2018. I was pro bono, or no, pro se. Sorry,
pro se. Representing yourself.
I was representing myself, and I got help in writing the legal briefs from an attorney. And they quickly realized, the plaintiffs quickly realized, like, okay, this guy is not. He's getting help. Like some pro se guy.
You're allowed to do that. There's nothing illegal about that. But what this set off the witch hunt. They just want to know who is helping so they could dox them and try to hurt them.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing they could do about you doing that. Like, you're allowed to do that. No matter. Basically, this was a situation that made Roberta Kaplan and her team extremely angry. And
what was funny is they kept saying, like, if your attorney is not allowed to operate in Virginia, we will allow it, because there's a process you can do where you can ask the court if they're not admitted to the bar in this state, can they, and the judge can allow them to be your attorney anyway. And they kept the plaintiffs kept saying, we won't have a problem if Painovich does that. Like, because the plaintiffs can object to that, right? They can, and so that's just another process, right? But the court was asking me to do it, and the plaintiffs were asking me to do it, and I was like, am I being ordered? And they were like, well, that was actually left on the table when I was released from the suit. That was still being decided. The plaintiffs had filed a motion to compel me to reveal who was my ghostwriter, is what we were calling it at the time, the ghostwriter for my. And it was actually one of the funny things is revealed in the releases that Richard did to the SPLC, that it was not my ghostwriter. We were working very, very closely together. I was getting help with legal research and things like this, but
and paying for it
anyway.
And it's totally allowed. Like,
of course I paid for it, which is one of the things they thought was most incriminating. Yes, I paid. Anyway.
Well, what's the legal basis behind a motion to compel you to do that? Just like hey, you're an idiot like Matt Parrott. You'll bend over for this, right? It was basically just like to make you not object.
I don't remember what their arguments were.
But it's like, what is like, I've never heard of.
I refuted them.
Yeah, you just don't have to do that. But you expect, generally, you're dealing with white nationalists. They'll just bend over like, okay, whatever you want. Just don't hurt me anymore. Which is basically, that's the crime that you're guilty of, is like not being like that. You're not being the right kind of white nationalist in court.
What's funny is also we talked about them trying to get data, right? How they wanted to get data from like the 504 forum. They wanted to get data from
never subpoenaed me,
the site and stuff like this.
I never got any notice.
And and the thing is they were
never
angry
got anything, Mike,
because my responses to that when I was asked that information was, I don't have access to that. And they didn't buy it, and I was like, "No, I am not the CEO of the company, and I don't. I'm talent. I'm hired talent. I do not have access to the technical information.
Nope.
And for a while, I wasn't doing any tech work for this very reason. And they were like,
even if you were, though, it's not your property.
Actually, I can't say anything that I discussed with Glenn. Okay, I'm not going to talk about anything that I talked about with Glenn or anything. I'm only going to talk about those things which were publicly released by Richard. The rest of it is privileged information. So the fact that I work with him is publicly released, and the particular pieces of text. The rest of it, I'm not going to talk about. But suffice it to say that I was asked by some people whether or not that was actually, like, if that was legit. And I was like, no, we've had this arrangement since 2017 because we always thought I would be the target for legal investigations.
No, we just did this because that makes the most business sense.
It also makes the most business sense for various reasons.
Yeah, because we are competent.
Right.
Unlike some people, as in.
But the funny thing is this also, even if I did have access to that information, I would still not be allowed to reveal it.
It belongs to the company,
right? You. Because it's not mine to reveal. Nope. So I didn't have access, but I also would not have been allowed to reveal it. So anyway, this was something that they couldn't defeat this argument. And I remember at one point, a Jewish reporter for some court newspaper, like they report on legal cases. It's like a trade mag for lawyers and courts. He called me, and because they had just done, because after they had subpoenaed me, this is always how the Science vs. Kessler thing would work. They would do an action, and then it would be in the media because they have connections to the media. Right. So when they would do actions, it was never reported in the media that I was released from the case. I remember texting Michael Hayden when I was like, ha ha ha, and he was like, he waited a while to text back, congratulations, I guess. And I was like, yeah, fuck you, you faggot. You invested your whole life in trying to destroy mine.